Previously on Up at Noon.
I'll be honest with you, there's no conceivable way either of you are getting a 300% raise. You have to be out of your minds.
Nick, we're the faces of IGN's #1 comedy show. You can't replace us.
Really?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Up at Noon. I'm Greg Miller, and here's the news you care about. Brap, brap. I'm Brian Altano, and I don't like stuff.
Checkmate.
Damn it!
What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and I am never threatening to leave Up at Noon again. Those kids were good. Now, are you ready for a powered-up Persona show? Yeah! Yeah, they are. Up at Noon's Brian Altano answers a tough question about the Titanfall Collector's Edition. Chris Zimmerman flies in to tell me all about Infamous Second Son. And Chie from Persona 4 Golden, Erin Fitzgerald, is here to talk about being one of the most prolific voice actors in your Japanese games. But first, news you care about. As of this taping, the Need for Speed movie is at a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it one of the worst reviewed movies of the year. So ladies and gentlemen, after decades of research and scientific tests, we finally developed the perfect formula to make the best video game movie possible. Don't. 9 Inch Nails and Soundgarden have announced that they're going on tour this summer. Now, I'd love to go, but I have plans to see the Mighty Ducks 2 in theaters that weekend, unless my dad grounds me for staying up late watching Rugrats and cheering for my favorite Olympic ice skater, Tanya Harding. What year is it? Jeez. A recent study found that nearly every HBO original drama and miniseries since 1975 was created by a white male. But, at least we here in the video game industry can say our statistics are better than that, right, guys?
Yeah.
God damn it. And the Asian dudes are gaining on us. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will reportedly only feature Paul Giamatti's character, the Rhino, for 4 minutes of film time. But according to our movie expert, Nick Scarpino, maybe that will leave time for the dozens of other villains in the movie. For a full rundown of the baddies the web-slinger will face this May, here is Nick Scarpino. Nick!
Thanks, Greg. Who needs Academy Award-winning actor Paul Giamatti when there are a slew of legendary characters from the Spider-Man universe to choose from, like Electro, Green Goblin, the Vulture.
Okay, yeah, I love those guys. Those are some of my favorite Spider-Man villains.
Texas Tornado, Luna Vachon, Andre the Giant.
Nick, those are all professional wrestlers who happen to be dead.
Busta Rhymes, Silk the Shocker, the entire Tribe Called Quest.
Oh. Now, Nick, those are 90s rappers, but at least they're alive.
Wally the Wizard, the French Tickler, Tony the Tiger.
And you made all those names up. Those are not real characters.
What's a Spider-Man, Greg? Am I Spider-Man? Can anyone be Spider-Man?
No, you're an idiot, Nick Scarpino. Thank you very much. And finally, Titanfall is out. It's a hit and it's awesome. But have you seen that box for the collector's edition? It is huge. But how huge is it? Is it huge enough to fit a person into? Here to find the answer is Up at Noon's lead writer, Brian Altano, with an investigative report.
Hi! This week at IGN, we received the Titanfall Collector's Edition. Inside the box is lots of cool stuff, like a giant robot, an art book, and a copy of the game. But this box is gigantic, so it got me thinking, could we fit a human being inside it? Then it got me more thinking, could we fit an IGN editor human being inside it? I think we can. I asked my good friend Leah Jackson if she could climb inside this box and fit. Do you think she can? Do you think she can?
I think she can.
Great! Let's find out. Hop on in the Titanfall Collector's Edition box.
Here I go.
She fits! Awesome! Let's see how many other IGN editors we can fit in the box. Come on in, Jared.
No!
Titanfall in stores now.
Who said video game journalism is dead? Thank you, Brian, Leah, and Jared. Man, I hope they let her out of that box soon. Speaking of letting something out of the box, Greg Way, I can't wait to get Infamous Second Son out of its box and into my PlayStation 4 this Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sucker Punch's co-founder, Chris Zimmerman. As I live and breathe, Chris Zimmerman. How you doing?
Greg Miller, good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you. You don't have to lie. We've seen each other a lot today.
I know, we're pretending.
You've been on Beyond. We had a live stream. Now you're doing the Up at Noon interview. We've cleared the audience just for you.
It's Chris Zimmerman Day here at IGN.
It's the holiest of holy days. You're here to talk about Infamous Second Son.
Absolutely.
Comes out this Friday. It's crazy. We're filming in advance. Just play along, play along. Comes out this Friday.
This Friday. That's right. I'm so excited.
It's a weight off your shoulders, I'm sure.
It is.
But is there a new weight? Because now you decide if the PlayStation 4 is awesome or sucks.
I don't feel that pressure, actually. The game's great. People are really going to have a great time playing it.
Yeah.
The hardware's awesome. It's fun to be part of that, though. It's fun to be part of Team Sony, re-emergent, triumphant again. So.
Rising from the ashes.
That's right.
But it's a different narrative this time around for you guys especially, right? You were telling me earlier you've never been a launch window game, and here you are, the game that everybody points to the PlayStation 4 and goes, well, that's why I bought it. I'm buying it for Infamous, or I'm waiting for Infamous. I want to see how Infamous comes out.
Yeah, it's a little bit more pressure,
Yeah.
To feel like people, we feel that pressure anyhow, right? We're really focused on making sure that our customers, our fans, people that play our games really enjoy the experiences we're given, because it's $60, right? You don't want to waste somebody's money. So we really feel that pressure through the whole development cycle, knowing that in addition to that, we're also going to help them justify the fact that they spent $400 on a PS4. Adds a little bit more to it, but it doesn't change how we do things. It just makes us a little bit more nervous that we think we've done a great job. We think people are going to love it. We love it. We see people playing it and loving it, but until it's actually out there, you don't know for sure.
Sure. Did it? I mean, when they, how does it work for making this game? I guess you decide you want to make another Infamous, and then do you have to decide if it's PlayStation 3 or 4? Does Sony put some pressure on you?
We had that discussion with our friends at Sony. They were open to it. They were like, well, what do you guys think will be best? And we were really excited about doing a game for the PlayStation 4. We thought it would open up new abilities for us to tell a great story, to provide new experiences for players. We were super excited about it. And that's really kind of the way it's played out. We were able to kind of see the platform come together. When we started, there really wasn't anything PlayStation 4. There really wasn't anything there. There was ideas about what it might be. So,
which sounds like a great environment to make a AAA game.
It was a challenge.
You have nothing to work on. Have fun.
The thing is that the PlayStation 4 team, the hardware team that was actually putting together the hardware, was really open to feedback, not just from us, but from big teams across the industry.
Sure.
Not just Sony teams, but outside as well. And you can see that in the hardware. They did a good job of listening to the game developers and adding in the features that the game developers really needed to do something special. And so it's cool to be part of that, to see that from the inside, to see the platform evolve to get to the point where it did. They made a ton of really good decisions along the way. They did a really good job.
Is this, a big evolution for Sucker Punch? You've been there. You're a co-founder.
Yeah, I've been
so
there.
You're probably a trillionaire on top of everything else.
Wouldn't go that far.
All right. Well, okay. You own something. No, but you've been there a long time, right? And I think Infamous. We talked about this earlier too, right? The jump from Sly to Infamous. People didn't expect that from you.
No.
And then Infamous 2 looked great and played really well, but it felt like Infamous. And then now there's this new game on a new system with new characters and a new story, and you brought in a whole bunch of new people on the team, right? People who are working on other big name games.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of happens, right? Every time we build a new game, the studio changes a little bit. The set of people that we have, a lot of people have been around a long time, but we add new, fresh people that bring in new, fresh ideas, and that helps us move the games forward. With Second Son, what we wanted was a game that felt fresh, that was really accessible to people that hadn't played Infamous games before, but still had the spirit of Infamous there, right? Where you don't really need to know what happened in the first two games, but if you played them and if you liked them, the things that you liked about them, the fluidity of movement or the feeling of the controller disappearing, that you just kind of were there in the moment that you were the superhero, that's there in Second Son in spades. We really have, I think, improved the way we've been able to develop that, or to deliver that experience.
What for you was the toughest decision going into Infamous Second Son? Is it PS3, PS4? Is it? Do we choose an ending or try to make it make sense of the Infamous? Do we go back to cold?
I think it was looking at the things that we treasured about the Infamous franchise and figure out which of them we're going to try to reinvent. You know, what are the ones we're going to build on, to be incremental about, and what are we going to try to reinvent? You know, how are we going to change our focus moving forward? That was the trick. You know, how do we do a game that's great both for people who have got their PS4 but weren't Infamous players,
Sure.
and also the people that, you know, were completely into the Infamous franchise and, you know, could tell us what Zeke's middle name is. Do you know?
Oh my God. Dunbar is his last name.
Yeah.
I don't know, what is it?
I don't know. It's like Jedediah, I think.
Oh, Jebediah. That is right.
Something like that.
Zeke
So.
Jebediah. That you just hurt
I can't believe I stumped you, Greg.
That
Sorry.
sucks. You hurt me big time on that one. Because everyone knows I'm an Infamous fanboy. That's well known.
Yeah.
And now you've thrown me under the bus.
I have.
In front of dozens of people.
I really am. I shouldn't have sprung that on you.
You shouldn't have. It's okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
I'll just go back to playing my Xbox One. No. So I guess, how does this feel? How is it? Do you ever look back at your career and the fact that you've co-founded Sucker Punch and it didn't die?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
It is. One of the things that was fun about starting a company was being an underdog. You know, no rational person would have looked at us and thought, oh yeah, these guys are going to succeed. And believe me, people told us we were going to fail, right?
Yeah.
Because that was the way the smart money was going. So it was fun it's been fun, you know, over the 17 years we've been running Sucker Punch. It's really been fun to, you know, beat the odds, right? And not just getting it off the ground, but then going from doing Rocket Robot on Wheels, our N64 game, to doing the Sly series on PlayStation 2 was really fun. Felt like we stepped it up. And then really surprising people with Infamous on PlayStation 3, doing something that the people that had played Sly games didn't really expect from us as a studio. And I think we've done it again with Second Son. I think we've really kind of upped our game. You know, I think we feel like we're at the point now where there's some stuff in the game where people are going to see it and they're going to be like, yeah, that's standard setting. You know, that's the thing that every other game's going to have to match up to.
Well, yeah, you get to set this bar for PlayStation 4 now.
Yeah,
don't screw it up.
Yeah, I know.
Don't screw this up. All right.
We'll see. I think we're feeling pretty good about it at this point. You know, we feel like we've actually, you know, surprised ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, some stuff that we thought we were going to do, thought was going to work out better than we'd hoped, and that's really cool.
Awesome. So now, when we talk about Sucker Punch, you guys finish a game. Is the immediate reaction always, maybe we should do another Sly Cooper?
Yeah.
If we're being honest, yeah.
The truth is that, you know, having lived through all of that, having done all that, there was something that was really special about working on a Sly Cooper game and getting fan mail that was honest to God written in crayon.
Yeah.
We would actually get fan mail written in crayon, and that was just cool, right? It was special. It was neat knowing that there were kids that at recess were playing Sly Cooper on the playground.
Yeah.
And you'd hear from their parents. They'd be like, oh, you know, I don't think you guys realize this, but, you know, my son, he's 9 or whatever, and the game that he plays on the playground with his friends is Sly Cooper. That was really cool. You know, you don't kind of anticipate that when you start working in video games or start a company. You're not like, oh, I'm going to have this huge impact on a 9-year-old's life, but you do, right? And then the fun part now for us, now that we've been around so long, is that we were that thing for a lot of kids. You know, we were that first favorite game, first love of a game for a bunch of people. And now it's 10 years later, and those people are now old enough to work at Sucker Punch. And so we have people.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they do. They come to Sucker Punch, and they work at Sucker Punch, and they won't say it. They're too shy, right? They won't say that immediately. But
I'm a huge fan.
After a while, like 3 months in, they'll kind of shyly sidle over, and they'll say, I got to tell you, Chris, that Sly Cooper was my favorite game ever. And it was my lifelong dream to work at Sucker Punch, and now I'm here. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool.
So was it weird to see another studio tackle it? I mean, of course, Zanzaro down here.
Neat.
Sanzaro.
You know, Sanzaro, yeah, those guys are smart guys, and man, they were bought into Sly Cooper. They love that so much. It was really cool to see that. You know, it was cool to have somebody outside of Sucker Punch who they were just oozing with kind of affection for the whole thing.
Right.
So it was. You know, a lot of people ask whether it was hard for us to give up control, whether it was hard for us to have Sanzaru go off and take what we'd built and build on it. And it wasn't, because from the start, from our first meeting with them, you could tell that they cared just as much as we did about the characters and about the story and about the franchise. So it was exciting. I was super excited when that game came out, Thieves in Time came out, because I got to play the game, you know.
And it was fresh and new to you, right?
I'd never had the opportunity to play a Sly Cooper game. I'd played them, but I always knew exactly
you knew
what
was
was
around.
happening.
You knew it was around the corner,
right?
and you saw every flaw, right?
Exactly.
And
So to experience one of our games in the way that a fan does, like everyone else in the world does, that was a really neat experience for me, to not know what was coming, to actually have it all hit me fresh the first time. It was cool.
Okay. Well, Infamous Second Son is out this Friday.
Yeah.
Here comes the speed round of questions that you get. I usually do the Twitter question, right? They were all the same, so here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Is Cole in the game?
Cole's dead.
Is Zeke in the game?
No comment.
Oh, yeah, that's good enough. That's close enough. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Are there multiple endings?
Yes.
Are there? So karma matters again, right?
Absolutely.
So it's Infamous in a slick, awesome Seattle world.
Yeah, again, it's like Infamous, but better.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, thanks
Give
for
me another
having me.
handshake.
It's
There
good
it
to
is.
see you.
Usually people clap here.
Oh.
But they're not here. No.
Thanks.
Yes.
Ah, there we go.
There we go.
Thank you, audience. Thank
You've
you.
done good stuff.
Thank you, internets.
You know, I don't know much about this Delson, but I think he's a cool character.
Oh, good.
Speaking of cool characters, Greg Way, my next guest, voiced one of my favorite characters in Persona 4 Golden. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Erin Fitzgerald. That's Chie. Erin Fitzgerald, how are you?
I'm good, honey.
Thank you so much for coming up here.
I am so excited that I came up. I'm so glad that you actually invited me.
It's all because of this guy over here.
Thank you,
Taylor
Travis.
Hoyt. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, tweet who you want on the show. Sometimes they respond and come to the show. That's awesome.
Yes.
And you're a big-time star. You're in Persona 4 Golden. You're Chie.
I am Chie. Chie is very popular.
Very popular.
I'm very grateful.
Were you ready for this kind of fame when you took the role?
No. I don't feel like I'm famous. I feel that Chie is uber famous.
Sure. But were you expecting that? I mean,
no, I actually wasn't. I was expecting a lot of hate. So
I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Persona 4 on PS2 originally,
Right.
and then they brought it over. You came in.
correct. I'm the second Chie. Yeah.
I don't want to say the best because then I offend somebody, but you're the best Chie.
I love Chie. Like, I can't even. When I put her on, it feels like home.
Really?
Really.
Are you a lot
really.
like her?
Oh, I'm a lot like her. Yes. I have a few qualities. Like it's
Give them
just
to me.
oh, just
You're a tomboy.
You know, come on, Greg. It's really easy to just be in that place, you know? And I'm surprised you didn't actually have steak on the table waiting for me. Just saying, you know.
That endless beef bowl for you?
I kind of was hoping for it. And I have a question. Why is it that there aren't any video games based on old Shaw Brothers movies? Like, why isn't there, like, using real kung fu heroes, you know? Like,
Right.
what the hell, dude?
Here's my question for you, Chie.
Yeah.
Why is it when I go into attack with you in any dungeon, I
Yeah.
send you into attack, you
Yeah.
always whiff the kick and fall on your ass?
Because you suck at playing.
Oh, it's my fault. These are there. All right.
You need to improve the skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start practicing.
That's it, dude.
Now, here's the thing about you is I don't bring notes
Right.
to these interviews.
Oh.
Because I'm a human computer, as they say.
yeah, you're really good.
They call me the Apple II. But
I had an Apple IIe actually.
how old are you?
Well, none of you. Not yet.
Okay. But here's the thing. You've hit fame and fortune now through Chie.
Okay.
You've been in a few other games, though. And I printed off your list of games here, and it's ginormous. Yeah, Bravely
a
Default,
few.
Catherine, Call of Duty, Danganronpa, Dragon's Crown, Dragon's Dogma, Dynasty Warriors, Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, that was a great one.
Thank
Last
you.
of Us, Saints Row 3, Skullgirls, Trauma Center, World of Warcraft, Zero Escape. You've been in a lot of things.
I have, yeah. Yeah.
How? Like, this is a lot of work. Like, why do you keep working? You could stop, right? They give
I
you
have like a genetic thing with my vocal cords that allows me when I put on a character, I don't have any limitations vocally, pretty much. Like, I have a really ridiculous range from I can go really, really soprano to not totally bass, but
Sure.
you know, like sorceress parasol kind of deep. Which
Sexy.
yeah. So I can do sexy when I need to.
Yeah.
So it's been a real blessing because and because I can do male characters and that sort of thing, it keeps me working.
Gotcha.
Because they end up saving money if they hire me because I don't just do that character. I can do multiple filler characters, and for production companies, that's the bottom line. You know, saving some dollars.
So how did this all start? I mean, when did you figure out that could be a career for you?
I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know this was a career, because when I was a kid, I thought cartoons were real. Like, I thought you laugh. You did it too. I thought Papa Smurf was a real, like, that was Papa Smurf. Gargamel was real. You had to watch out, you know? Like,
yeah.
I thought that shit was real. Oh, am I allowed to say that? I just did. Okay, because... So,
Glad
yeah,
my
but
boss's kids opened the show.
I'd been kind of like, the earliest memory I have of performing was I was 3 years old, and I would go over to the 90-year-old woman's house next door, and she would let me act out the entire Wizard of Oz for her for hours. And that was kind of the start. So I've always been a character actor. I've always liked doing characters, and I studied acting and went to university and studied acting, the craft of acting.
Sure.
Went into television and film, and what a disappointment, because it's all crap parts for women, you know, like it's, oh, you can be the nurse or the hooker. Great. So they couldn't, like, they would put me in stuff, and then it would be too much because I can't help, but I like what I do. And then someone I was working with, I finally got a job doing background voices for television and film, and I was standing next to Michael Dobson, huge voiceover actor, and he looked at me and was like, why aren't you doing cartoons? And I looked at him and said, what? I didn't understand. It took like a few times. He had to say it 3 times, and I went, what do you mean? You mean cartoon? You mean what?
Did you still think they were real at this point?
It was kind of like it had never been challenged, so it never even occurred to me. So here he was, and then I remember one of my first, it was a 6-month audition process, and for my very first audition, once I immediately took his advice and put together a demo reel, which, my demo reel came to me in the dream state. So I woke up, wrote it down, and immediately got an audition for Ed, Edd n Eddy for this new channel called Cartoon Network. Awesome. And 6 months of auditioning, and I booked May Kanker, and then I eventually took over Naz when Tabitha decided she didn't want to do Naz anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember standing next to, not on Ed, Edd n Eddy, but on another cartoon job I had booked. I started booking immediately. Like, it was just like my whole life had led up to this moment, and as soon as I figured out all this craziness that I was able to do and annoying my friends with had a purpose, it made sense. And I remember standing next to Gary Chalk and someone telling me he was He-Man, and I remember going, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know. And so it fascinates me that people want to know who the voice actors are now, because I didn't know, and then I didn't want to know. And you know, like, it's unless it's like my favorite cartoon character of all time is the Flea from Mucha Lucha, played by Candy Milo. I freaking love that. That character made me laugh. When I first moved to America, I watched that every Saturday morning. I love that show. She just made my life. That's when I was like, okay, who is this? Who is this? I gotta know. They're genius. They're genius. But it amazes me that anybody bothers to find out, you know, if I'm a voice behind something.
So again, we went through your 3 pages of video game roles. Yeah. What are some of the cartoons you've done? This Ed, Edd n Eddy, that was a big deal.
Yeah, Ed, Edd n Eddy is a big deal. Yeah. A lot of people have children that might be watching Monster High. I'm 8 characters on Monster High.
Well, not working yourself too hard. That's
good. I'm the lead character, Raven Queen, in Ever After High. I'm on a show on Nicktoons called Wild Grinders. It's a skateboard show, and I play the total jerk, rad awesome Stubford. What? He's awesome. He's just a dink, and I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are some of the cartoons that I'm in right now.
Right now, you guys are getting ready to launch a Kickstarter for a new show, right?
Oh, yes! Thank you for saying that.
That's what I do.
Yes. So I got to be involved in there's going to be a Kickstarter for it, because he pitched it to different networks, and they didn't want it, and he finally said, forget it, I'm going to do it on my own. Von Creep, he's the main honcho, and he put together this amazing cast of people that I've dreamt of working with, like Tom Kenny, Gray Delisle, April Stewart, Quentin Flynn, Clancy Brown, Yuri Lowenthal, Tara Platt, 2 of my favorites that I do get to work with, and he cast me as like a little pirate girl named Marie, who's got 1 eye, missing tooth, and a wooden leg. And a French
part
accent.
you were born to play.
Right.
Pulled from your real life.
Exactly, and it's a show called Monstroville, and we start a Kickstarter to hopefully fund at least the first season. We're trying to get the first season made with that cast, and that's a dream job for me. It kind of feels too good to be true, and for that dream to come true, I'm going to have to depend on, you know, the kindness of strangers, friends, fans.
These guys.
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
So then coming back to Persona.
Yes!
You take over as Chie. Did you know, like, how were you aware of the Persona brand? Like, how big it already was?
No, I didn't know anything about Persona, actually. I had been in another universe prior to that, and then, apparently, I got called in from the voice director, Val, who does the games, and they had decided that they had to find a different actress because Tracy wasn't able to reprise the role, and she told the producer, I know Chie. I know the perfect girl, and they brought me in. I did an audition. I just came in, and then we started playing around with who she was. They were so. I mean, the Atlas team is amazing at their preparation and what they give you as an actor and everything that they deliver. So it's just, I just soaked it up, and Chie was kind of reborn through me, my interpretation of her in that day, and I have not looked back. I love her.
That's awesome.
I have a Chie jacket.
Yeah, I know you wear it. I see you in the Twitter photos all the time wearing it.
I love it.
That's not creepy.
No.
So I think the big question for a lot of people watching is what's Chie's future here? Like, they've announced like 3 to a dozen new Persona games.
I am allowed. I have been given permission to talk about that. I am and in the midst of or just finished recording Persona 4 Arena Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be amazing. Oh my God. You guys are going to be really happy. It's amazing. But I haven't heard about anything else. I haven't heard about Persona 5. I haven't heard about Q. I haven't heard about anything else. So everything is on a... Yeah, I'm hoping. Of course they have to, don't they? But I don't know. I have no idea.
She is super popular.
It's so fun.
You had to romance her. That's where you had to do it. I don't want to hear this Rize crap.
But Laura Bailey's hot. What can you do?
Woo! She is a taken woman, and her husband is quite a bit bigger than me.
He does look like a real superhero in real life.
Yeah.
It's kind of freakish.
Travis Willingham.
Yeah.
And he's friends with Troy Baker, too.
Oh, yes, he is.
And that's the whole thing with the infamous Second Son people that were just on, right?
Right.
It's just nepotism.
Right.
Troy Baker gets hired. Oh, I know this guy, Travis. Oh, Travis comes in. I know this girl. And then it turns out, oh, best man's and they're married. Good job. Good job.
I have no problem with that because I want to work with the people I love too.
Okay.
I like bringing my friends on projects if I can. Like I love working with Tara and Yuri. They're
Sure.
2 of my favorite humans on the planet.
So, wrapping out this Persona bit.
Yes.
You can't talk about anything else that you
No,
know
I
about.
can't.
It's
That
fine.
sucks, right?
It's fine. No, it's fine.
Woo!
When did you know this was different? That like Chie was going to have a different kind of reaction from fans.
When I expected so much more hate for taking over Chie.
Yeah.
Because I know I get attached to voices and characters. I get attached. Even if I don't like the character or the voice, I still get attached to hearing it. So
Sure.
I expected so much more hate. And when I was getting this wave of love, I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I've seen friends, and I have friends who are going through it too, when they flip. They just, for whatever reason, producers decide to recast, and the actors have no choice in the matter. And then there's that awkward adjustment period. But yeah, I've been really blessed with that. So I never thought that Chie was the most popular. I thought she was just, pretty fun, and I liked the Him Daisy comic and all the the fan art has been amazing. I mean, not the Rule 34 stuff, but and I have seen it all. I have seen it all. I've seen.
You got to embrace it.
I can't delete. Tumblr is a dangerous, dangerous site. Yeah.
I didn't think Teddy would be
crazy.
that well endowed. I, of course, tweet who's on the show and ask you to ask Twitter questions. We have a speed round, right?
Game on.
So clear your head. You ready?
Hugh.
Jacob says no questions. Just make her do the Tipo voice from Tales of Exilia.
I need a line. What does he say? I don't remember. Oh, bazongas.
Mark says, how does she feel about her character in Noir in Neptunia? Any more voice work planned for it?
I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about with Noir, but...
Okay. How do you feel about that character?
Noir is one of those characters that I never thought would be popular, and she's really popular. I'm so grateful, and I like playing her because she's a little bitch on the side. And I like her bitchy edge. That really, really satisfies me after a recording session. I'm like,
Okay. Parth tweets, can you ask her how she approached, spoiler, Genocide Jack in Danganronpa, and how much fun it was voicing that character?
Insane, literally.
How do you approach something like that?
I take the cork out of everything that I do in daily life to appear normal in public.
Yeah?
Those filters came off. That's how I did it.
Okay. Most memorable role to date from Megan? Megan asked what's the most memorable. I forgot Megan's name.
Well,
I work with Megan. I should have probably said.
That's okay.
Got her name out first. Sorry, Megan.
Memorable. Chie is right on the top of that list.
Yeah?
She is pretty hot. You know, I really love playing her.
All right, and then final question here. This comes from Azario. Okay, real question. How does it feel to be in a game that means so much to so many people? And have you played it?
I have watched the anime, which pissed me off because Chie didn't eat any meat the entire time. She ate nothing but noodles, and that drove me nuts. I don't understand. Did they not play the games? I have Arena, and I've attempted it, but my problem is I don't like usually watching my work. I get really too much, you know, and especially with Yuri, because Yuri and I are in everything opposite each other. Like when I tried to play Catherine, all I heard was Yuri yelling at me, "Take responsibility." I'm like, Yuri, shut up, you know. And so but of course, all of that goes out the window when I'm addicted to playing Dragon's Crown. That's my game that I play.
Yeah.
I freaking love that game, and so I put up with Yuri and his, but I don't play as myself, so it makes it easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to be in a game that touched so many lives?
It's kind of surreal and amazing, and like coming here, I didn't even realize how big. Like in my head, I'm from Canada, so even when we were doing Ed, and Eddie, we didn't know it was popular. We didn't know anybody even watched it. We just were like, another season, okay, we'll take it.
Give us the check.
Sure. But when I moved to America and I realized how popular it was a mind blower. So I feel like that with Chie, where I'm like constantly made aware of just it's much bigger than I have thought it is. So I have to redefine how it's a little much for I'm opening to it. I'm excited to. That's kind of amazing, right?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I feel good.
Okay, good. Well, Erin, I feel great about your work. Thank you so much. Everyone go back your Kickstarter. Look for more Persona games. Follow her on Twitter. It's the easiest way to keep up.
Perfect.
Now you clap.
Oh.
Thank you to Brian Altano, Leah B. Jackson, Jared Petty, Chris Zimmerman, Erin Fitzgerald, and you, my audience. If you want to be in that audience, go.ign.com/up@noon for details. As always, Brian and I will be responding to comments the first hour this video is live, so come tell us why you romanced Chie in Persona 4. Was that? You didn't? Well, you can go to hell. We'll be back next Monday at noon, but until then, I'm going back to bed, DaveFanoy.com.